Hello everyone, I'm that 3D guy, and before starting this video I'd request you to please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification icon so that you do not miss any future videos. And I also want you to hit that like button if you like this video. And yeah, it's been a long time again and it takes some time for me to set up everything, and I was also having a lot of health issue recently, so that is why I wasn't able to upload any videos. But yeah, now we are back and let's see. So I thought maybe before continuing the product, right, which we are working on, like making the second part of it, I thought maybe I'll take one of the doubts which I had from one of my friends. So he texted me on Instagram and let me know that okay, maybe he had started with Lamborghini, which is a pretty good choice if you are starting out with an automotive project. It's a pretty good part to start on, because the thing here is, if you see at his, if you take a look at his model over here, it's not a bad start. For someone who is doing it for the first time, it's not a bad start, right? You see, he has gotten all the basic shapes right, and he has put it wherever the blueprints are asking him to. Like if you see over here, he has tried to keep the surfaces like as clean as possible, I would say. This surface looks pretty good to me. This surface looks pretty good to me as well. Like using 4x3 and stuff like that, it's pretty good. The main issues which I found here were, if you see over here on the wheel arch. Okay, before that we'll also talk about what is the first thing you need to do when you are starting out with an automotive project, right? So if you see over here, the center of this grid needs to have the wheel on the center of the axis, right? And the main reason why it is because, as you know, all the cars have different dimensions, right? There might be some sedan, there might be some maybe hatchback and stuff like that. So they have different sizes. Some might be quite big, some might be very small, right? And depending on how you take a look at it, like SUVs or sports cars or whatever. So they have different sizes, the wheels are of different sizes, and if you see, when you start modeling something, you need to have something pretty precise. You need to have something which is like constant for all of them. Despite having a different size, they need to have something which is quite similar, which keeps them similar in one aspect, especially when you are starting to model something. So most of the time, if you are not a transport designer, obviously, I've worked with quite a lot of transport designers who are pretty good at what they do. And they have told me that most of the time when you are modeling something, it's all on the wheels, right? It's all on the wheel. The wheelbase over here, if you see, is usually measured with the number of wheels there are, right? If this is one, then if I give you a small example over here, if I take a circle over here, just place it over here and move it. So this is just something which I'll show you what wrong is there in the model. For now, the shapes look pretty okay. Like for a concept model, it looks pretty okay, like what he has tried to achieve. If you take a look at this, this is the wheel. Approximately this is the wheel. And I'll just duplicate this one over here. If you see over here, somewhat like this. We go around like this. And we go around like this. And you see there are like approximately a three circle, like a three-wheel wheelbase, if you see. So all these measurements are kind of precise, and maybe somewhat over here as well. If you take a look at this, it's almost like this, because obviously I have messed up with the original, but most of the time it's something which you need to take care of, right? There are like three wheel distance between the wheel on the wheelbase. And if you take a look at this, the first thing that we are going to do is, maybe we'll push all the things. We'll take all these things. Yeah. We'll take all these things. We'll first unite their pivot points. So uniting their pivot points. Okay. And delete the construction history because that is messing up with our product over here and it's taking some time. No. Okay. And then the united pivot point, we'll just move the pivot over to the center of the wheel over here and move it at the center of the grid. right? And now we have the car wheel at the front wheel at the center of the axis. Now what this does, it makes it easier for us to like understand, okay, from here on the positive x-axis we'll have 3 wheels. So it becomes easier for us to like start measuring things out and stuff like that, right? So that's the main thing. Now that is the main thing that we need to keep in mind, is like keeping it on the positive side of the axis. Most of the clay modelers also do the same thing. When they are like clay modeling something, they start measuring it out from here. If they want the center from here, they'll start modeling it out from here, right? So that is the main reason. The axis is the most important part where you start from. Then comes the scale. I don't know what scale he has used right now, but you need to take a look at the scale. You need to have a proper measurement of what the scaling is, right? You need to have a proper measurement of what the scaling is and how big your car fits in, because obviously what happens is when you start with the class A model, obviously most of the time we'll get the clay model and you'll have to just lay the surfaces on top of it. But it is usually recommended that you play with the scale, right? Because maybe you work on some higher tolerances or lower tolerances. Depending on your scale, the tolerances are going to change eventually. So that is one thing you need to keep in mind as well. So keeping the scale precise is one of the most important things again, right? So the other thing which I saw over here was the wheel arch construction. Now I feel that he might have first constructed these surfaces, the surfaces which I am highlighting first, and then he would have created the wheel arch over here, the wheel arch, right? Which is, I would say, not good. It's like a wrong thing to do. First you need to create the wheel arch, and the best thing about this is that he has understood that the wheel arch goes in, right? The wheel arch goes in, there's a wheel that shows up and the wheel arch goes a bit in. So there's a small trick which I was taught during one of my lessons as well. So what you do is, you take a surface, pick a plane, take a surface over here, scale it up. And there are different methods as well. Like you can just skin it. You can just skin a circle, right? You can just skin a circle and that's also pretty okay. But since we need something which is like easier for us to like change it and play with it a bit as well. So that would be something which would be much, if you see over here, it's not a perfect circle for him, right? It's breaking at a lot of points and we need a perfect circular wheel arch, right? So that is what we'll have to take a look at. Now obviously I'm just doing it quickly because we don't want to waste a lot of time on this. So this is what we want. Obviously you'll just connect a curve if you want it a bit straight. And yeah. Now I'll just try to maybe shift these in a bit. Maybe I'll just play with this a bit and push them inside, right? Because we want them to be like something like this, right? And just project the circles over here. And then we'll just trim them out. Keep it and trim it, right? Now we have the history, we have the surfaces over here. We'll just make another curve over here and project it again and discard this part, right? And now we have a wheel arch which is completely, if you see, we just made this in a couple of minutes, right? We just made it in a couple of minutes and we have something which looks much better, right? We have a flat plane over here which was just used to like create a wheel arch. That's how easy it is. And from that, if you want, you can just maybe play with this. This is my new wheel arch which I have created. So I'll just drag it a bit over here. Just show you how it needs to be done. So I'll just Control C, Control V. I'll move this over here. Maybe approximately somewhere over here where I feel it's pretty okay. And if I have a surface in between, this is how usually I like to do it. But if I have a plane in between, I'll just make a non-proportional plane. Maybe make a non-proportional plane again. Move it a bit ahead over here like this. And okay, where's my plane? It's somewhere over here. This is how usually I work with automotive stuff, right? So something like this. Now we have a little bit of curvature at the center. So I'll just pick these 2 points over here and bring them a bit out, right? Okay, we have forgotten 1 point over here. And we'll just bring this a bit out, right? So that we have something which is like a bit better. Something like this. And obviously this is not subjected to only this car, right? Your working might differ depending on the car you want to achieve. But this is majorly how you can work around with wheel arch and creating a perfect, good looking wheel arch, right? So if you just scale it maybe, and just scale it so that you have somewhere from here maybe, and project it and then trim it. Oh, we'll just keep that part because we need that. And over here we'll just hide and just freeform blend between these two. Okay, I don't know what the issue is. Maybe I'll just untrim and trim it again. Yeah, maybe trimming it again might work. No. What we'll do is we'll try to detach it maybe. Okay, yeah, because it's a plane, obviously. That's not going to work, right? So we'll just freeform blend it. But I doubt if it's gonna work. So maybe a square would also work, right? And we'll keep it 3 by 3 degrees because we just need G2 from one side, right? And object align G2 from here, right? And G2 from here. But now we know that, okay, maybe we cannot do G2 because it's following this path. So we'll use vector, right? And vector goes normally with it. So we have something like this, right? And then we'll just trim this part again. We don't need this, and then just square it. Oh, okay. Maybe there's another issue over here. So obviously most of the time when I am doing it, it's okay to use a plane. I usually go around and play with the skin. You can also skin it, which will be much easier if you want to achieve something like this. But this has a history, right? So you can just move around and play with the plane and stuff like that. With the curve, it becomes a bit tricky. So that's also one more thing which you need to keep in mind, right? But this is, again, there are like multiple solutions to this. However you want and however you can get your surfaces clean. Okay, so we have something, there's an issue over here maybe. What we can do is, we can just, if we see over here, maybe there's a point where our circle is joining, right? So maybe we can just rotate it, not like this, maybe somewhere over like this, right? That we have something like this. And then maybe around 90 degrees, yeah, that would work. And then trim it. Yeah, now I think it should work. Surface, curve. And then just make this over here. And G2. We won't keep this vector, we'll keep it UV. Maybe where's revert? We'll just revert this. Okay, we have revert over here. And we'll align it over here. Right? Now we'll just square this thing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe there's align, now we'll have it, right? Yeah. So these are some of the changes you need to do. Again, I don't know what happened over here. Maybe we again, this is one thing which happened. Now I'm just going to attach it for now. I won't be paying a lot of attention to this. I'll just be attaching this and I'll just square it around, right? 2, 3 and 4. These are some of the things which create some of the problems in Alias as well. So yeah. And maybe 4 degrees might work, 5 and 8, but we don't need 8, right? What we can do is we can create a 3 by 5 kind of a surface. We can just detach it in the center, right? And then realign it. We can detach it in the center. We can realign it. Maybe G2 over here. We'll see the continuity check. Edge align. We'll keep the skew over here. We'll try to keep it, yeah, positional align, and that's a positional influence is okay. With G0 over here, it's perfect. Oh. Yeah. And maybe over here we'll have an issue, maybe. Yeah, it's okay, it's perfect. And something like this, right? So you see how your curvature is flowing right now? Something like this. And not that bad for the first time you're working, right? Not the worst one, you'll see. It's pretty okay for now. The curvature looks pretty okay. The surfaces flow pretty smoothly over here, right? So this is what it is, right? We have pretty big surfaces over here which are 5 by 3, which looks pretty good. So this is one thing which you need to keep in mind, that constructing is always the same. Now, obviously this wouldn't go with the Aventador we have here, obviously, because it's a different model altogether, but the working is kind of same. In fact, this one is much easier because it's going straight and then it's just a flat panel over here, right? And one more thing. If you see over here, lots of degrees over here, you can just make it with 2 by 2. Why not? Yeah, see? And just have a positive crown, right? Just have a positive crown. Why not? Just have a little bit of crown over here. Have some straightness to the surfaces. The surfaces should look pretty as well, right? That's the main motive. Something like this. And not just by tweaking a couple of millimeters of the CVs, we are able to achieve something which is pretty good. We'll take this and something like this. Obviously over here, if you can see, this thing can give you a better idea of how your curvature is, right? Because this thing can tell you, okay, this thing is not right, or this thing is not looking better. Maybe something like this. It is better if your reflections flow in a straight line. It's good to look at, and whatever is good to look at, it's much better. Yeah, so something like this. Obviously, if we try to maybe bring it a bit more out, you see how it's changing. It increases the curvature, and it's completely straight. That's the best thing about it. It's completely straight. We'll just have a little bit of crown, because in automotive, one more thing you need to keep in mind is never is a surface flat. Never, right? It might have a little bit of crown, especially very little also, it's okay. Even if it's very little visible, but there is some kind of a crown. And just by looking at this surface now, we see that it's completely in a good shape, right? Now, just by tweaking the surface a little bit, I didn't do a lot, I just tweaked it a little bit, and here we are, right? So he's going on a right track. I would just say that reducing some of the degrees and playing around with some of the playing around with some of the CVs and stuff like that would make the things pretty good. Here I think one thing which he has missed is the continuity over here, right? As you can clearly see, there's no tangency in between. Even though there's position, there's no tangency. There is position over here. Yeah, and there is position over here, which is a great thing. Again, not a lot of degrees required here. Not 4 by 3. I would just go on with 2 by 2 and just try to increase it later. So how you are going to work around this, right? This is one of the parts where when you are working on a roof, it is most importantly like you need to create a whole roof altogether. But here our continuity is going to break here most of the time, right? It's going to break here most of the time because this is G0 in the center and this is G2, right? It's very difficult to have that continuity maintained and have that little bump over here, right? So we are just gonna maybe, if you even want, you can just maybe fillet it so that you get a small blend in between. That's not a big deal, right? As long as you are getting your surfaces clean and surfaces as close as possible, it's not a big deal. So what we'll do is we'll just duplicate it. For the symmetry thing, I have one more tip which you all can use, and that is making one single surface across the center. So you just duplicate the curves. I'll just duplicate this one, I'll duplicate that one, the symmetry one, this, and this, right? I have all the curves selected and I'll just attach this in the center, right? I'll just attach this in the center. I'll attach this in the center, and now I can directly reduce the degrees, right? I can directly reduce the degrees so that I get kind of a similar shape. But I can also use one more tool which is pretty good, which I think is one of the best tools, is the fit curve, right? If you have a lot of degrees and you want to just reduce it and want the software to do most of the work, then you have fit curve, right? It's there in maybe somewhere over here you'll find curve edit, right? Yeah, it's there in curve edit, fit curve. So you just select the curve with multiple spans and multiple degrees. You can take it over here and you see there's a degree 2 and it will also show you the deviation, which right now is 1.25, which is quite a lot. I would say 1 millimeter is quite a lot if you ask me, but it's okay. Like you can even manually try to maybe bring it a bit down, right? You can even try to bring it down manually. Yeah, see, it's going down by 1 millimeter. It just went down by a bit. So it's okay. We'll not pay a lot of attention over here. We also have to keep in mind that we have to keep the design intent correct. So maybe his curves might not be very precise. And you usually get around 1 millimeter kind of a deviation allowance in working. So that's not a big deal. As long as you're also working with a blueprint, it's okay. It's perfectly okay. You use this fit curve. Eventually your design intent should look good and your surfaces should look clean, right? So using lesser degrees and achieving the highest quality result is the main thing which we need to target. Okay, somewhat here as well, we are just deviating by 1 mm. So I'll just take this, it's okay. We see this over here and we compare the curvature comb in between in these two things, right? In these two curves, we'll see how the curvature comb is. Let's take a look at the curvature comb, and we have over here, we'll just the U and increase the comb scale, yeah, somewhat like this. This looks pretty okay. This looks pretty okay to me, right? Oh, sorry for the background noise. There are like a lot of vehicles going on. Yeah, so I'll just use a square 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? And it's 2 by 2. That is perfectly, that is what I want. And I'll just, if you see over here, the CV layout looks pretty good, pretty promising. if you see over here, it looks pretty convincing as well. The surfaces look pretty convincing. Obviously, we can just play around a little bit with the CVs and maybe try to get them in the correct order, right? We can try to get them in the correct order. Use this and place it in the Y direction. And just by sliding the center one, we'll lose the history for sure, but just by sliding the center one, we can try to get something which is a bit more clean, right? Something like this. And we can even fiddle with this one a bit, right? So that we have something. We are trying to make it a bit flat so that we have some kind of a, and we'll also maybe increase this. Yeah, we'll increase this a bit as well, maybe. So we'll keep it to 25. We don't need those many. Obviously, as you can see, I have deviated quite a lot. So this much. Oh. Simultaneously, I cannot just deviate a lot from where I want. Some of the things are going to be like that no matter how I want it to be. So I just need to find some solution which is just in between, where I can just drop it a little bit and maybe bring it a little bit up. So for now, I think it's okay. The reflections look kind of pretty good, I think. Yeah. These look straight, and that is what we want. We want the reflections to be straight, clean. We have the continuity in between because this is a single surface after all. Oh, this is his surface maybe. Yeah, we'll delete this one, and yeah, we don't need to check the continuity because it's a single surface, right? So that is what I think that this is pretty good surface. This is a pretty good surface. Now we'll just duplicate this as well. We'll do the same thing. Now, if you see in this one, there's one thing which is quite evident, right? Maybe I'll just maybe template this one. What do you think? Oh, I'll make a new layer and put it this one and hide it. Yeah. Now, if you clearly see over here, it's quite evident that the curvature is not flowing equally. As you can see over here, maybe I think I should just increase my draw style, right? Draw precision or draw style? Draw precision. We'll keep it to 1. Go. Yeah, now it's cleaner. So if you see over here, this is a bit curve over here, then flattens on the top and becomes like this as again. So what we can do is just by, okay, there are a lot of CVs again, which I don't like. So I'll just keep it 2 by 2, right? Pick this CV, and as you can see, I'll just try to bring it down a bit. And just notice at the reflection first. Just notice at the reflection first and why I changed it. So something like this. Not happy with it, but okay. And now if I just bring this one down, okay, we'll just bring this one down. Oh, okay. Because we want the curvature to be same, somewhat just eyeballing it, so we get something closer. And this one as well. So we'll just bring this one a bit down. Is this the same one? No, this is not the same one. This is the one. Square and bring it a bit down. Yeah. There's also visual reference we have, right? The white line over here. If you see, the white line is also a pretty good reference for us. How much should we move it down? And here we are, right? Just by moving it a bit, you have gotten something which is pretty convincing for now, right? Which looks like, okay, maybe this is going in the right way. Then we can just move around, play with this a bit, right? Play with this a bit. Maybe move it. We'll delete the curves first. And the reflection is still not, it's still pretty good, I would say. You can just make those minor tweaks and stuff like that just to get it as clean as possible, obviously. Have we lost the sharpness is still there. The sharpness looks pretty good over here. And we'll try to realign it with this one. Especially even if we are able to align it positionally, that's also perfect. Yeah, positionally. And we have the same reflections, kind of. You can still make some minute changes and we'll get there, like maybe playing around with this a bit. Yeah, because obviously it needs to readjust with this as well, right? So it needs to keep that curvature over there. So you need to now start playing with this one in case if you want, right? Moving this one a bit up and moving this one a bit up, right? So just like this, you need to start working around and figuring out what is the best solution to like achieving good quality surfaces as well as keeping the reflections clean as well as taking multiple things into consideration. Now if you take a look at this one and take a look at this one, you'll clearly see a distinction, right? That this surfaces, the reflections look quite harmonious, whereas here it looks quite disturbed, right? So that is what we want. We need some clean, and you'll see that we have G0 over here as well. Now even putting fillets, it's going to be quite interesting. I'll just edit, or maybe for the roof we'll remove the symmetry. We'll just edit, duplicate and mirror for this one. Yeah. Maybe we'll put all these in the new layer, right? Assign. And let this have the symmetry for now so that we can see what his work is as well. Make a small fillet. Maybe 15 or something. This is just for showing right now. We do not need to make any kind of a fillet or something like that, right? We don't need any kind of a fillet. Yeah. So we have something like this. We have something like this, right? And here we have just, as you can see, I have hardly used anything and I have gotten a 4 by 5 degree with a pretty good reflection over here. As you can see, there's a bit of a fillet in between which gives you a kind of a sharp edge but also very smooth. So you can again play with it, maybe make it smaller, make it big, maybe make it 7. I think 7 might be good as well, depending on how you want your fillet to be. Obviously, as you can see, a pretty good sharp line flowing in as well. If you take a look at the reference, you see how it's going very sharp and then it's flowing. Obviously, you can do it over here as well. You can try to make it a bit more sharper by just bringing those CVs down and then maybe bringing the center of this windshield down. And those are all the things which you need to start like working on later on, right? So these are some of the tricks that are usually pretty good to know and start working on as well, right? Again, now we have this one. I had a layer over here. And now I know I want alignment over here. I first need to reduce the CVs. I'll just keep it 2 by 2. I don't need a lot of CVs. I'll align this one over here with G0, right? I'll align this one, obviously, over here. And it looks pretty okay for me right now. And let's see how the reflection is. Not good. Not good. I'm not very happy with the reflection. I don't like the twisting a lot. So what I'm going to do is, again, bring this one a bit down. Bring this one a bit down as well. Maybe let's see what effect it is happening, right? Yeah, something like this might work. We try to keep it as straight as possible, obviously. But again, we just need to play around with these, right? Just need to see how our CVs are and how the degrees are and stuff like that. Again, sometimes it's important for us to just play around with this and see if we are going in the right direction. Something like this might work, right? You also need to see the distances. One more thing is, the cleaner your CVs are, the better your results will be. So if you see over here, this thing and this thing, there needs to be a transition which is just in between this and this, which is somewhere over here as well. So that is how you can like see what is the best way to get the CVs correct and what is the best way to get the surfaces right and stuff like that. If we take a look at over here, let's take a look at G0 and continuity check. We have the G0 over here. Do we need, yeah, we need a little bit of positional influence over here. Just, yeah, something like this might work. Not very happy with this part. Because it's, these are some fine tune adjustments that you need to do, right? These are some fine tune adjustments that you need to do. There's some fine tuning that you need to do. And again, the reason why we are just moving these two CVs is because we know that this CV line is completely fixed. This is completely fixed because we cannot move that. The only thing we can move is the boundaries, right? We can just move the boundaries, play around with the boundaries to make it as clean as possible, which is a good thing as well as a bad thing, because now we have lesser CVs to worry about to get the perfect lines and stuff like that. Right? This looks pretty good. I think this looks good. Yep. So something like this. And now we have some pretty good lines over here, if you see. Right? And we just make some small fillets. So maybe 7.5 might work, right? Okay. So one more thing, when you are adding fillets, this is the direction of the fillet. Now your fillet is going down, but we need it to be up, right? Like this, right? It needs to be like this. So we'll bring both the arrows up. Now sometimes the fillet command doesn't work because it doesn't know the general direction, but now we'll just flip these two directions and here we are. We'll just edge align this fillet and edge align this fillet. Since both of those were positional aligned, that would be positional align as well, I presume. So let's check that out as well. G0, oh, it isn't. Is it? Is this one? Yeah, this one is. And this one? Okay, this one isn't. I don't know why this one is and this one isn't. That shouldn't happen, right? Maybe there's an issue over here. Is there an issue with the surface over here? The surface looks okay to me. I don't know what's wrong. Did we by chance move it somewhere? Yeah, that might be an issue as well. That could be an issue. Right? Okay, we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, so one thing which I do is once I construct everything, I just extend it back. Now I know that even if I bring it ahead, it's not going to. So that is one good trick that you can do, right? And even if we just edit, duplicate and mirror, we get something like this. Hopefully we have G2 in the center. Oh, we don't have a positional alignment over here. Yeah. That might be because of the CVs over here. So obviously our CVs are not connecting. And and hopefully, why aren't we getting G2? These are some of the things which we need to keep in mind, right? Because our surfaces are clean, everything is clean. But I think there's some issue, there's just a minute gap or something which is remaining behind, which I think is the issue. Okay, and G0, okay, and G2 over here, G2 over here, and we don't have G2 over here obviously because we want it to be G0, right? Just G0. Yeah, there we have it. Something which looks pretty good, something that looks pretty convincing. We just add the surface fillets over here, and we want something which is going up like this, edge align, something like this. And where is it? The model is over here, and we have G0 over here. Okay, we have G0 over here. We should have G0 over here as well. We have that, right? So maybe there was some issue over there, but now we have fixed that. And something like this, edge align over here as well. Do we have G0 over here? Yeah, so we'll have G0 over here as well. Yeah. So here we have it, the top panel kind of done. As you can see, we have something like this. We have something which is flowing eventually. So you see over here, it's still going down like this, but we still have something which is flowing very nicely, very nicely. I'm quite happy with this. It could have, obviously you can take it one step ahead as well anytime. That's not a question to ask, but again, you get these kind of surfaces and you're pretty happy with this, right? You have this kind of a surface and you're pretty happy with this. So something like this as well, the curvature over here and these things. I hope it is informative for you. Same over here, if you see it's 4/3, we don't need 4/3 degrees. We just use 2/2 all the way over here, right? We just use 2/2 and we were able to achieve quite good quality surfaces, right? So that is what we want. That is what we want. We want good quality surfaces with just very minute, like kind of things over here. So that's the topic we should. I hope it was informative for you, and if you have any doubts you can just let me know, right? And yeah, so you can write them in the comment box below. And as you know that Neil is going to get, I hope he might have understood what doubts he had. Most probably he just wanted to know if this model was correct and what he has to change. One more doubt he had was over here as well, right? So this thing is also quite similar, I would say. Like, use least number of degrees, start with the wheel arch first, and then you will get this surface. Start building the roof first. Once you finish this part, I think is going pretty well for him, I think. Yeah, this reflection looks okay. This reflection looks good. Not over here. As you can see, if I am moving it over here and it's changing the direction, yeah. So this. If you see, you'll have to see it from almost all the directions to get a better idea of how your reflections are flowing, right? So X, Z, and you see there's a problem over here. There seems to be a problem over here. So that's the thing, right? So just by reducing the degrees, you can do a lot of things. I don't think you need to use so many degrees. Only if you are playing with some kind of maybe fillets or some kind of a transition or an alignment, then maybe if you need to, we were quite lucky to get it in 2x2 and get it positionally aligned and then get a fillet which was not just one small blend over here. Okay, if you are maybe increase it to 5x5, I think it should leave. Yeah, see, so just 5x5 small fillet, and there we have it. So we were quite lucky in this place as well. Also, if your first primitive or your primitive surfaces are good, or your primary surfaces are good, your secondary surfaces are bound to look good. And we also take a look at this as well. So surface fillet, and edge align, and edge align over here as well, and 5. Yeah, and let's see, something like this, and maybe okay, and curvature scale. Yeah, so if you see over here, there's a small problem right here. Maybe that would be with the normals over here. We'll just try to switch the normals over here. Yeah, we have the small issue with the normals over here, and we switched it. If you see his curvature now, we'll take a look at the curvatures in between, the difference in between. And yeah, you see over here how uneven it is. If you see, it's quite uneven. I'll just ramp it up to maybe 15 and we'll be able to see it clearly. Yeah, and if we see over here, it goes quite smoothly. We know that okay, maybe there's a point over here. We know that there's a point over here. Maybe we could have played a bit around with over here as well, but it's moving gradually. Here it's a bit of a haywire where we cannot see what's going on. And yeah, so that's how it is. Like, it can be as simple as just having 2 degrees and playing along it all over. You see, it cannot even find a sharp shape over here. So these are some of the mistakes which he has done, but it's pretty good for an elementary, like for a starting point of view, because he has gotten all the shapes right, which is quite good. This is if you want to ramp up your surfacing level to another, just another level, right? If you want to get it to some good level, which you think, okay, maybe this is what I want to make, then obviously this is something which you can take a look at. Then you also take a look at the curvature comb and stuff like that, which is also very useful, right? So you just switch on the curvature comb, and that is also one kind of an analysis. Now we might go wrong here, maybe. We might go wrong here, and our surfaces might not be evaluated as the good ones if we take a look at the curvature comb right now. Let's see. Yeah, this one, maybe the U and V for this one has changed, so we'll just switch it over here. Yeah, and this looks pretty decent as well. Maybe this could have a bit of a curvature ramped up over here. Yeah, so you get a bit of an acceleration over here as well. You can just slide the CVs on the top, so you get a good acceleration over here. If you see, we just increase the U and V. Yeah, this looks pretty okay as well. In general, if you don't have a G0 over here, you have something which is like this, right? You have something which is like this, a bit accelerating. In case if I show you right now what it is, I don't know if it's gonna work because there's a small fillet over here, but just for representation, I might be able to show you maybe around 50 or something, or maybe 100. Let's take it up a bit. Now we'll keep it to 50 for now, just for showing how it's looking, right? And G2 curvature, right? Right now we see there's a lot of deviation over here, which shouldn't happen. It should go very smoothly, but yeah, we haven't taken into account those things. So I'll just show you how it looks like, just selecting these 3 and maybe making a curvature over here and increasing the curvature comb at the top. And yeah, this thing needs to go over here, and something like this. Obviously this fillet is not properly aligned because it's G2, I won't say that it's not G2, but for G2 it's just like breaking in over here, right? We need a smooth flow over here, so we'll just try to shift the CV so that we get a fluid, like a fluid flow in between, right? So those things we need to keep in mind, but those are some of the things which come a bit late as well. Like for a model like this, it's pretty good, I would say. And I would also think that maybe having just G0 over here, because this is a windshield, right? So this is anyways gonna break. This is anyways going to break. So this is a windshield which we have created. This is anyways going to break. So this might also be pretty okay for an elementary level where you have a clay model and you think, okay, there's a break anyways over here. Do I need to make a surface over here? No, maybe no, right? So yeah, some of the people just make the whole body and then maybe make the windshield and stuff like that later on, right? Because they want to have a different part altogether. In class A, all the parts are going to be different, right? But in like a proper, if you say concept model, no one cares. It's pretty good to have one single surface all around and just break it apart and then maybe use different trim convert commands and stuff like that, or maybe trim divide or stuff like that. So yeah, most of the time you usually build them separately when you're modeling in class A, right? So yeah, this is something. I hope you liked it and I hope this was useful for you. Again, we are just taking a look at some of the basic things, and there's not a lot of things to see, but just by looking at it, I think I just can see the difference between the two, the surface, and it's not very difficult to reach over here, to be honest. It's just moving, sliding a bit of CVs, playing around. It takes some time to get a hang of it, but once you know which CV to move what and how the curvature comb is getting affected, how your curvature is getting affected by that. I just showed you, right, that how it was very thin at the front and then how it got a bit fat, and how it got a bit, like how it got a bit thicker and then how it got thin again. So these things you need to keep in mind and you will be just fine. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. We'll also continue the product part 2 again, maybe in maybe on Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not sure. Maybe at the weekend, next weekend, that would also be good. If you have some doubts which are similar to this, if you are stuck on something, don't hesitate to put it in the comment section, or don't hesitate to mail me at that3dguy23@gmail.com and we'll take a look at that as well. So I hope you like the video. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe the video and share it with your friends if you can. Right? Thank you. See you. Bye bye.